Hello, my name is Patricia Thornton. I create short videos with simple instructions related to Sage Intacct ERP software. This is a video that explains how to create a financial statement. We start with a quick PowerPoint presentation only to give you the lay of the land before we demonstrate the product live. There's 5 steps to this process. Step 1, we're going to identify an existing report to duplicate. Throughout this video, will tell you all the advantages of duplicating versus creating from scratch. Step 2, we only edit this existing report so we can get the duplicate button required in step 3, and then we'll enter a new report name. Step 4, we'll edit and save that report, and then step 5, we'll wrap up with adding the report as a dashboard component. We always start at the home page and then focus to the application dropdown. We're going to select General Ledger. We land on the All tab, and then in the center column, we're going to find financial reports. We could create from scratch by hitting the plus sign. We're going to double click on the menu prompt, which will take us directly to the financial report library. We'll identify the report we want to duplicate and edit. Then we'll focus at the top right corner to the duplicate button. A duplicate report pop-up. This gives us an opportunity to name our new report. It has to be a unique name. And then we'll come into the financial reports library once again, find our new report to edit it. Now we're going to focus on the toolbar to the left. The first tool in the toolbar is the report information and the structure. We don't have to, we've already completed that. And one of the advantages of a duplicate report is we've inherited a report that has already been tested. So then we don't need to make any changes except to have a unique name. So we're going to focus down to the next tool in the toolbar, which is our rows. Once again, we usually don't change anything in the statement of activities. We're changing the columns. We might be comparing budget versus actual, and then we'll convert that in our demo to a prior current year comparison. But I do want to point out that this is where it all begins when you create your report, is that when you start selecting your GL account groups. And the GL account groups are just subtotals. And you determine here with the subtotals, such as revenue, whether you want that to print in detail or summary. So it tells the GL account groups tell the software, what do you want to display on this line item? And what GL accounts do you want to have subtotaled? You can then change the report quickly from summary to detail, and you can determine whether the row always displays or it only displays if there is an amount. And one of the usage of having it all display is if you were building this report from scratch and you wanted to check to make sure that all the GL accounts are included. They're included in the right group and they're not duplicated in any group. Then once you have proven out the integrity of your design, then you can come back and select none before you deploy to your end users. Otherwise, if the statement of activities that you duplicated is exactly the rows that you want and they're displayed in exactly how you want them displayed, you can move directly down to columns. Now in the columns, we're going to basically come over to the third column, switch out budget, and change it to prior year. And we may come over here to column 4 and just change the title so it's not remaining budget, but it is the difference. And here we have a summary on the column, which is basically doing a calculation. It's subtracting column 2 from column 3 for this existing report where we're taking and subtracting the actual from the budget. All right, and I just wanted to point out in these big red boxes that there are some of these features that you consistently apply 90% of the time. Therefore, my strategy is that you don't overthink these trivial standard settings that have already been set by Intacct unless you have a compelling reason. Down below, I have a few notes which again reemphasizes or that usually that the statement of activities will use the same GL count group or rows. And there's advantages there because if I make a change and add a new account to one of the groups, then all of the reports will be updated at one time. So it's efficient and for ongoing maintenance. But typically you change out the columns of your statement of activities, comparing, as I mentioned, this budget versus actual current prior year. Maybe you have the rolling 12 months forecast. You even within tech can have your locations or departments across the column or any of your dimensions. So uh, if you duplicate a report, the theory is it's the columns that would be the only thing that needs to be changed, maybe the permissions and the name. But we're going to talk about, we're going to skip computations, even in our discussions. It's too complex and outside the scope of the simple application of duplicating a report. But we will talk a minute for about filters. So my best practices, if all possible, set your filters at the dashboard. Don't embed them inside a financial report where the user may not have visibility. Therefore, don't understand the results. All right, so now we're going to move down to the next tool in the toolbar underneath filters, and that's format. If your format for the report you duplicated is fine, then you don't have to make any changes here. But I wanted to demonstrate, just at least introduce you to some of the functionality that you do have control over. And this is the third tab over where we can hide headers, totals, underscores, um, and details of currency. Now, symbol. So in the first tab, if we are focused up at the top here where it says rows and totals and then move over to the left, the first tab will be the general. That may be the only place I make a change, and that's where I might change from to round to the dollar. All right, and then we have permissions, and you've seen this interface throughout Intacct. This is where you can give access or exclude a group or everyone in one keystroke. And so you may exclude everyone while you're, again, designing your report and testing it when you're ready to deploy. You might add access by a user or maybe a user group. All you need to do now is save and you're done. The final slide is my contact information if you want to know more about my consulting services. Otherwise, we're going to move over to our Sage Intacct for a live demo. We're focused at the top left corner at our home page. We're going to move to the right to applications, to the drop down, and we are going to go to General Ledger. And we're on the All tab. So we're going to go to the center column and we're going to go to financial reports. And we're going to focus on the first of the statement of activities, edit and duplicate. And here's where we now enter in a unique name. This is the current prior years. Now I'm going to go and find the new report we just created. We have one here already from a prior demo. I'm going to show you. We're going to go all the way to the left and we're going to delete this. And now you'll see this is the one that I just created and I put a dot at the back end to make it unique. I'm going to come in and edit. As mentioned, we're going to focus on the left-hand side to the toolbar. We don't need to make any changes to the report information. Here's where we have our rows. Quickly, we can come over here to the second column and convert these rows from detail to summary. And we can come back and change it just as quickly to detail. We could come to one line item, such as revenue, and decide to do our revenue in summary and keep our expenditures in detail. Or we could come over and use the little icon here to the left of the, this is our geo account group name. These are the geo accounts within that group. And I can collapse that so it's just a summary and just as quickly expand it to detail. Okay, we'll move this back to detail. And we're going to focus back to the toolbar. And below rows is our column. And this is where we're going to come over to budget. And we're going to turn budget into actual. And then we're going to focus down to the reporting period. And we're going to have these two reporting periods match. So this is going to be for the fiscal prior year to date. And we're going to move back to the left under the actual. And we're going to make this fiscal current year to date. Now they match. So then our summary on the columns where we're subtracting our current from prior year. And then we can come down here and just change the header and save and done. Now we'll go to the dashboard and we're going to go to the statement of activities below. And we're going to go to the current prior year. This dashboard must exist. Here's our dashboard group. This is our dashboard title. To the right, we have our as of date and each of the dashboard filters. And then we're going to come over here to the far right where we have a plus sign, and that's where we add our component. And we'll tell the system that the component type is a report. It's a financial report. And then we tell the system which financial report. And I'm just going to clean up my header here of the component. It inherited the component above. I want it on the dashboard to match up with the dashboard total. And save. Now, if you don't have an existing dashboard, you need to create one before you can attach the component. And then second of all, if you don't have a dashboard and you've never created a dashboard in Intacct, please see my YouTube video library. And there's an 8-minute video, and then you can come back and continue to add the component based on this video. So here we have at the very top left corner the dashboard and its filters. And you see here we have a date to the right showing that we have April 2025 actual. And then we have our prior year 2024 and the difference. I can come up to my dashboard filters and I'll change to May 31st since this is demo data. I'll apply. And now my first column is May 2025, second May 2024, and the difference. I also want to point out above here where I can jump from one dashboard financial flash report, I call these the flash reports, to another. So a case study may be where I am checking my budget versus actual for the month. I see a variance. I go down to the rolling 12 months. I see a spike. I go up to the prior year and quickly in this flash report can see that we had a spike the prior year, the same month, about the same amount. And I was able to isolate the variance to being the property taxes. This completes this video. If you found it of value, please hit the like button. If you want to contact me, see the final slide in the PowerPoint presentation. If you want to know more about Intacct, see my library of videos to learn more. And as always, thank you for your time and for viewing.